part 2 of how to protect your home from evil. Thank you for joining. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to this part 2 video. Now, in part 1, we went over the basics, kind of an overview of how to protect your home from evil and certain aspects of that, what to look for, what to observe. In this second part video, we're going to go into more specific agents, long-term agents, short-term agents, what the attenuation energy is on an average for each. Now, the ones that we're going to mention here on this second part video are just a sampling of the many agents that you have to choose from in using something to protect your home from evil. There are a lot more, essential oils, crystals, resins that can be used. You just have to look at what is the basic energy of the item I'm using. Does it have a historical significance? The more historical significance an item has, the more energy it has accumulated in time that works against evil. Like, it's been proven to work against evil throughout time. And I call that, just in my terms, a time stamp. So let's take a look at some of the short-term resonant agents. And one of the most commonly used short-term resonant agents is smudging. And what smudging is the burning and release of fragrance and energies from a particular herb or resin. You can use sage bundles, cedarwood bundles, or you could try to use some loose incense material, including, certain barks can also be used. Palo Santo sticks are a really nice short-term agent to use. And when we think of burning is an energetic release of the energy from a flammable source. So the burning sort of catalyzes the energy of the agent that you're using. Holy incense can be used. Frankincense and myrrh is one that has a real heavy time stamp from thousands of years ago that's been used to clear negative energies from an area. Now, cinnamon has also been used, but there's a cautionary note with that because cinnamon is an irritant to the mucosa of the nose and mouth, and so I don't necessarily recommend the use of cinnamon because some people can have a really bad reaction to it. Now, other resins can also be used as well. Like I said, maybe copal or some other type of resins you can use. Instead of burning, you can also place the resins at key points in the room or key points around the home, and it will kind of grid or have a protective effect. Now, these are short-term because the energy from the smoke actually attenuates really quickly. Usually the energy from the smoke will attenuate within 7 days. And up to 7 days, it's diminishing, but by the time you get to a week or 2 weeks out, the energy is pretty well dissipated. But these are very, very effective protecting agents, and they're really, really good at removal of minor to sort of midline infestations. Now, another short-term agent to use are prayers with, and this is coupling of mental imagery and vocal resonance. So recitation of protective psalms inside the space that you're trying to clear. Now, you may want to grab a little paper and a pen because I'm going to give you some samples of protective psalms that are commonly used to protect a home from evil, or just even a space. Let's say that you live in a group setting where you're sharing space with several other people. You can use these psalms just for your own area. So those psalms that can be used is Psalm 91, Psalm 7, Psalm 27, Psalm 32, Psalm 52, and Psalm 140. Now, when you're using prayers or psalms, these are formulations of a thought form, and thoughts take on an increased vibration when you concentrate on these prayers or these psalms. This is coupled with the recitation or amplification of the voice to leave a dominant imprint in the environment. The energy of thought and voice can attenuate quickly unless the projector has and emanates a very high resonant state of being. You see what I mean? On a normal basis, these techniques reduce within 5 to 19 days. However, these can be reactivated using additional prayers or mantras and or religious music to reactivate the energies within the environment. Now, along with this video, I'm going to put some links to some nice reactivation videos, and they'll be in the comments or the description box. And these are really good at recatalyzing and reactivating the energies in the environment. And I'll leave, let's see, there are about 5 really nice links to choose from. Now we go on to sprays and essential oils. These can be sprayed or placed with a finger to anoint the area that needs to be cleansed or protected. And you can use the sign of the cross, or you can use some other symbology, whatever fits for you. And what we're looking at is the aerosolation of oils of the plant, and they are activated when the sprayer is sprayed and the particles dissipate or are, sprayed into the environment. The aerosolized oils are activated when they're sprayed onto the surfaces and particles are dispersed, changing the vibration and releasing the energies of the oils. Using the finger to place the oil can add physical action, energy, and intention to the action, amplifying the energy, especially when placed in a specific way, such as the sign of the cross. Sprays tend to hold the resonant energy a little longer than a smudge. These agents attenuate usually anywhere from 30 to 50 days. These are easily placed as a barrier to a specific room or in general protection of the home. These are also a good option to use for spaces where you have elderly or small children that reside within. A smoke smudge might cause some kind of health issues with elderly or small children. So in that case, the spray might be a pretty perfect thing to use, as long as there is no one inside the area that has a sensitivity to essential oils. And you'll have to look at, what oils are you using. Like I said earlier, cinnamon would not be one that I would use due to the irritable factor it can present to nasal passages in the throat. So always keep the spray where you're going to spray, always keep that out of the reach of children and pets. You don't want to spray anything on the doorways or the walls close to the ground where kids and pets are. They might put their hand in it and put some in their mouth, or a dog may lick it and get really sick from it. So, you have to really place it high up so that everybody is safe. So now we're going to look at long-term resonant agents, and these are salt crystals. We're going to start with those. The resonant clearing energy of salt goes back through history for 2,000 to 3,000 years. So there's a heavy time stamp here. related to salt. And also nothing grows in salt, which makes it a natural kind of energy that isn't eradicant. The crystals are electrolytic, meaning they love energy, and our bodies can't function without salt. The electrical part of our system has to have salt to function. So salt and electricity go hand in hand. And so since the crystals are electrolytic and they love energy, they can be imprinted very easily, and they're very receptive to thought, voice, and prayer intention. Their structure also allows them to bond with other protective agents such as dried herbs and essential oils, so therein causes a doubled or tripled action effect. The energies of salt placed around a room or as a barrier for the home attenuate from anywhere at 3 months to a year, depending on how many oils or herbs that you add to your salt. Because, the more oils that you add to the salt and the more herbs that you add to the salt, the longer the effect of that salt is going to last. Now we're going to talk about sound resonance. And the reason it is so important in throughout all the techniques that we're talking about is a small part of a sound wave is lost to the air or other medium through various physical processes. So when you're speaking and the sound waves are traveling through the air, a part of that sound is lost in maybe the wood of the door or the air that you are breathing in the room. And this little bit that's imprinted or left behind is considered a long-term treatment because that echo is locked into the environment. Now, yes, it does attenuate, but not very fast at all. So some of the other sound things that you can use that really impermeate the area and do not attenuate very rapidly are solfeggio frequencies, drums, crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, and horns. Sound waves are also extremely good at clearing an area because the sound waves can carry and move through closets, crawl spaces, attics, basements, so entities cannot pull back to, an empty area that the smudge isn't getting to, and the sound waves can pretty well flush everything out because sound waves will move whatever's there outward. Now, for the sound waves, attenuation is usually around 6 months and can easily be reactivated with sounds, meaning the videos that I'm going to leave down below, all you have to do is to play 1 or 2 of those, and that reactivates all the intonations that have been kind of imprinted in the environment. So now we're going to talk about programmed gemstones. And since sound leaves this energetic imprint in the environment, gemstones and a certain amount of gemstones store and produce energy, kind of like they're electrolytic, sort of like the salt. Only some gemstones actually can produce energy under certain amounts of heat and pressure. So using your resonant voice to program this electric loving crystal is a super way to protect your home space and your home. So protective prayer can amplify the energetic efficacy of the gemstone. Energy attenuates, usually depending on the variety of gemstone, anywhere from 1 to 5 years. Programmed wards imprinted with the sound of prayers are just the same. Attenuation for a programmed ward is the same as a gemstone. And a ward is simply, a religious item or object that you have placed significance and intention upon, and it is specifically designed to protect either your space or your house. And you would do a recitation of a protective prayer on that item, and some of the sound imprint will be impregnated into it. So if you want to know more about some advanced techniques on advanced psychic protection, please visit my website, kathrynkauffman.com, for the online course. Specifics of types of crystals that can be used or types of wards can be found in that course of advanced psychic protection. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and I will see you for part 3, where we're going to actually do a sample walkthrough and kind of show you how to use some of these objects. Stay tuned for part 3.